Her father never looked her in the eyes. Not once. Not in 27 years. She thought it was because he did not love her. She was wrong. It was because of what he had done before she was even born. Before Ada was born, before she was even a thought, her father made a decision. He was 35 years old, in debt so deep he could not see the top of it, and a man had come to him with an offer, not an unusual man, not a frightening one, not at first. Just a man in white who sat very still and spoke very quietly and knew things about Papa Chukwu that nobody should have known. "I will clear everything," the man said. "Your debts, your mother's hospital, your brother's court case, everything. All I need is the first thing God gives you that you did not ask for." Papa Chukwu thought he meant money, a windfall, a contract. He signed. 3 months later, his wife told him she was pregnant. They had been trying for 6 years. Ada was born on a Sunday morning in April. Her mother said she came out already looking for something, eyes open, head turning, like she was searching the room for whoever had called her here. Everyone laughed, everyone except Papa Chukwu, because the moment the nurse placed that baby in his arms, he remembered what he had signed, and he understood, for the first time, exactly what he had given away. He handed Ada back to her mother after 4 seconds. In 27 years, he would never hold her again. Ada grew up knowing something was wrong. She just did not know what. She was not sick. She was not unintelligent. But nothing ever worked for her the way it worked for other children. She would study all night and fail, practice for months and still lose, try and try and try, and watch the girl beside her who tried half as hard get everything Ada reached for. She thought she was cursed. She was right. She just did not know the curse had her father's signature on it. Papa Chukwu knew everything. He had known from the day Ada failed her first exam, an exam she should have passed easily, that the agreement was already working. Whatever Ada was meant to become, whatever ceiling God had written above her head, had been redirected quietly, without her knowledge, flowing away from her like water from a blocked pipe, going somewhere else, to someone else. He told himself he would fix it. Every year he told himself this. He never fixed it, because fixing it meant telling Ada what he had done. And he could not bear to watch his daughter look at him and finally understand why he had never been able to look at her. By the time Ada was 27, she had tried everything. 3 universities, admitted to all 3. Something always happened before she could finish. 4 jobs, each one starting well, each one ending in a way she could not explain. 2 relationships, both men leaving for reasons that made no sense, even to them. She was not a woman who gave up easily. That was the cruelty of it. She kept trying. She just kept running into an invisible wall that she did not know had been built before she was born. And her father, living in the same compound, eating at the same table, watched all of it and said nothing. It was her aunt, her mother's oldest sister, who finally said something. Ada had gone to visit her after losing the 4th job, just to sit somewhere that felt safe. The old woman looked at Ada for a long time without speaking. Then she took Ada's hands. "There is something on you," she said quietly. Something that was not put there by accident. Something that was agreed to. Ada pulled her hands back. "Auntie, go and ask your father," the old woman said. "Ask him what he signed before you were born. Ask him what is in that room he keeps locked. Ask him why he cannot look at your face." Ada drove home in silence. For the first time in 27 years, the confusion was becoming something sharper, something with edges, something that felt like the beginning of the truth. She found the key in her mother's Bible, tucked inside the book of Job, which her mother had underlined heavily. Ada stood in the compound with the key in her hand and waited for her father to come outside. When he saw it, he stopped walking. He stopped breathing. "Ada," he started. "What is in that room, Papa?" He looked at the key, at her face, at the key again, and for the first time in 27 years, he looked her in the eyes. What she saw there was not the cold distance she had grown up believing was indifference. It was grief so old it had become part of his face. "Sit down," he said. His voice had changed completely. "Please, sit down. I will tell you everything." He talked for 2 hours. He told her everything, the debt, the man in white, the documents, the words of the agreement. Ada did not cry. She did not shout. She sat and listened to her father explain how he had accidentally sold the first blessing God ever gave him, which turned out to be her. "I thought it was money," he kept saying. "I thought it was a business deal. I did not know you were coming. We had been trying for 6 years. But when you knew," Ada said quietly, "when I was born and you understood, why did you not tell me?" Papa Chuku could not answer, because the answer was the worst part. He had been too ashamed, and his shame had cost his daughter 27 years. The locked room held almost nothing. A wooden box, some papers, a photograph of her as a newborn that she had never seen before, and something else, something she could not explain, a warmth in the air, like a fire that had been burning quietly in there for 27 years, waiting. She stood in that room and felt something she had not felt since she was a small child, drawing in the dirt under the mango tree. Possibility. Raw, unblocked, undirected possibility. Like a door in a wall she had been pressing against her whole life had simply opened. She did not know yet what came next, but she knew for the first time in 27 years that something had shifted, that the ceiling above her had changed. The morning after Ada opened that room, the mango tree bore fruit for the first time in 27 years, just one. High up, catching the early light like it had been there all along, just waiting for permission to exist. Ada stood underneath it and did not say a word. Some things do not need words. Some things just need to finally be seen. Her father had stolen 27 years from her without meaning to. He could not give them back. Nobody could. But the tree had fruit now. And Ada was just getting started. Her father signed away her future before she took her first breath. For 27 years, she carried a weight she did not know had a name. She failed not because she was not enough, but because something upstream had been redirected. She searched not because she was lost, but because something had been hidden from her. She survived not by luck, but because some people are built to keep going even when the road keeps ending. And when she finally found the truth, she did not collapse under it. She stood up straighter, because now she knew what she was fighting. And a woman who knows what she is fighting is the most dangerous thing in any room. If this story touched you, if you have ever felt like you were working harder than everyone else and still losing, if you have ever felt like something invisible was standing between you and everything you deserved, this story was for you. Subscribe to Moonlight Tales by Joy so you never miss a story. Like this video, it helps more people find us. Share it because someone you know needs to hear this tonight. And leave me a comment. Have you ever felt like Ada like you were running a race someone else had already rigged? Tell me below. I read every single one. The next story is already written, and I promise you, you are not ready for it. Good night. See you soon.